or, dude, my brain is so jacked. Like I'm forgetting my keys. I go to the store, I forget my debit card to, you know. Anyways, when the Cranberries did Zombie, everybody knows what that was really about. Was about, no reason hiding it, especially now. No reason covering it up or trying to make it look like it's something else. It was about all of the Irish that the England has murdered to own and enslave them. That's the bottom line. And how it's England is turning the Irish people into zombies, where they're alive but they're dead, flat out. And so England, them being the way they are, instead of saying, "God, you know what? We're guilty. We better clean this up because Judgment Day is coming for us too." Instead of them doing that, they're like, "We're going to get her. Sooner or later, we're going to get her. We'll take our time. Right now they're famous. They got the media all over. We'll wait until she's not really anything, and we'll do her then." And her being a normal woman, after X amount of time, of course they told her, "Oh, don't worry, it's okay, that song's okay, there's no harsh problems, we got too many other things to think about, yada, yada, yada." Because the Cranberries have played London. They want her to feel at ease in London, so it's easier to get her. And so that's what they did. That's what this is totally looking like. So I remember the very first reports, as soon as I heard of it, were how some cleaning ladies supposedly found her dead in her room in the middle of the night, 3 in the morning. And the band, Bad Wolves, said they got the call at 3 in the morning. And they're like, "What?" Of course, because they were supposed to record with her the next day. That's why she was there. And they were like, anybody with any common sense is going to think, 3 in the morning, what are cleaning people doing going into a hotel room of a mega superstar at 3 in the morning for no reason for? Assassins. Dressed as freaking cleaning ladies. And of course they dressed as cleaning ladies just in case anybody saw them. They could say, "Well, I saw cleaning people at 3 in the morning." But no one saw them, or at least they have silenced, let's say, the anybody who did see. And they did her and thought, well, whatever, we've gotten away with everything for her. We'll just call it in now before anybody else finds anything out. Anybody else accidentally shows up, and can contradict what we say, say, "Well, yeah, it's, but whatever." So they hurry up and called Bad Wolves and made a, public press, put it out to the rest of the media around the world, which of course the rest of the media was probably like, "There's no way. There's no way that girl is dead," like I was, I remember driving to work that morning and hearing them talk about her on the radio, but for somehow I got that they had a new album coming out and were touring, and that's what it was. And that's what I thought. I thought, whoa, man, for real deal, God's been telling me about her and, and them, to make sure I'm on it, when it comes around. And that's what that radio thing was. And then I got to work and my boss said, "Dude, did you hear what happened to Dolores O'Riordan?" And I'm like, "What happened to her?" And I guess you could say I went from like way up here, feeling wise, to instantly dropping here and being like, "What?" And he said she died. And I was just like, there's no way in hell, dude. There's no way in hell that girl is dead. He goes, "Nope, she did. They just found her. She's dead in a hotel room." And I'm like, you know what? Okay, so whatever it is going on. If you're telling me that, because he's straight up. My boss is straight up. That isn't even a joke he would play ever. He wouldn't even think about it. And as the day went on, because everybody on the job was talking about it, everybody's like, "Dude, did you hear what happened to, a lot of guys, they're in the metal scene, and, know about him and stuff. They, for some reason, didn't get what I got. Maybe probably because I was a musician, and when I heard Zombie and, another song or two, I'm like, these guys are writers, which is the main thing in music. You can't make it if you're not a writer. You can be the best player in the world, but they were writers, and actually state-of-the-art writers as well. In that you're just born with. Some people may be right now, "Well, how do you get that?" As soon as they hear that. You know what? You just got it or you don't. They call it in the industry. Either you have it or you don't. And they had it. And to me, they were like preordained to be put together. A lot of people would think, no, man, they were just like regular guys. They couldn't even really play. It's like, you know what? This is beyond you, beyond us, beyond it all. It's like Jesus. He was a little kid that lived in town. And people were like, "He's the Son of God? That's this kid that used to play with my kids. I mean, you got to be kidding." They just don't get it. But they had it. Cranberries totally had it. And so these guys at work were just like that girl from the Cranberries. I mean, it shook everybody. It wasn't like, there wasn't anybody that was like, what? Whatever. Everybody was like, that girl from the Cranberries died. And they're all just like, nobody's believing it. And in fact, I didn't. I was like, it was 3 days into it or something like that. And then I heard that, in the media how they were going to do the funeral and how they were going to do a viewing. And it set in a little bit more, but I thought, something's going on here, and it could be God's thing, but it just is, how do I even say it? It's not that I'm stuttering because it's hard to say, because I'm trying to, I don't know, just hit the nail on the head for at the time what I was thinking and whatever. But I'm just like, he's going to bring her back, or he's doing something. God is doing something. He isn't like just offing her and that's it. Like he just had her come to mind over and over. Just, Robert, here, think about Dolores, think about Dolores, think about Dolores. Okay, now I'm going to kill her. No. So it's looking to me like that Crown did it, because they, those original stories have been wiped from the internet, which is all sorts of stuff they've wiped from the internet, stuff that the Satanists don't want you to know. I can go on forever with that. And then they put out their own statement, which is total BS, which could be proven, on its face. Look at Las Vegas, that shooting in Las Vegas. I mean, that was the Democrats flat out having somebody that's on their side, one of their fellow Satanists, shoot up a bunch of people at a concert. Of course, they're Trump people, go figure, and then try to take everybody's guns. Say, look what happened. We got to take all your guns, because Lucifer wants to take over this world. He's got 90% of the world already. He just has to do it. Europe, which he's mostly got now. He's got Europe, Satan has his people running Europe now. And they're just, basically handing the country over to Lucifer through the Muslims. But the last two to get are America and Israel. And once he gets America, and this is prophecy. Once he gets a hold of America, he's going to have the whole world attack Israel. And just as Israel's about to completely go under, God's going to show up and wipe everybody out. Everybody who stands against Israel is just going to get that eternity in hell, and that's what's going to happen. And that's what they're going for. So, and Dolores is actually kind of a decent-sized piece in that, because for her to stand against England like that and not be taken out, for her to stand against the Crown, tells a lot of other people, you know what, we got to start stating publicly what the truth is, what they're doing, what they've done, and they ain't going to have it. Of course, this, if the real proof comes out, that royal family's got to go. They just got to go. And Ireland needs to put every person that matters, that knows investigating on this case, and anything that happens, if they get blocked out, report it. Say, oh, we tried to go investigate and find out the evidence and look at, whatever, but England wouldn't let us. You can't let them get away with this. I could just say, just on common sense proof, with everything she said and who she was and all that, she didn't off herself. They're going to say that just because that's the common thing now. Oh, she's just the next one. Look at Chris Cornell, and, look at Robin Williams hung himself, and, that's just what they're doing. No, that isn't just what they're doing. Or at least they're not her. I don't have a clue about the others. I'm not going to, let's put it this way, I didn't have a gut feeling at all to investigate Chris Cornell. Kind of the word on the street is he joined that Illuminati crowd. They set him up to be rich and famous. Then finally it came time to do their sacrifice for Lucifer, for their Illuminati god. And he was the sacrifice. I mean, believe me, to them, it's like how the Christians are with Christ. You got to stand with him no matter what. So when Lucifer says, you better sacrifice somebody, and it's got to be who I say, they still just do it, because they got to prove. It's like in the mob. The mafia, you join the mafia, they're like, okay, well, you got to prove yourself. You got to kill somebody you're close to prove that you can handle this, doing this. You could look at interviews of Richard Kuklinski. He was a hitman for the mob. And that's what they told him. They said, well, you want to join us, you got to kill all your friends. So, and he did. He killed all of his friends, and they're like, okay, cool, you could join us. That's Lucifer. That's how he is. So I just, the main deal of this was to make sure all the tabloid crap, the lies, because that's what they're going to put out. They're going to wait until April, and that's what they're going to say, that she offed herself. And, I'm trying to think of an example, but sometimes some things are the first, like 9/11. I mean, how many times in the world's history have people flying an airplane into a building? Well, they never did before. But you can't be dumb to that fact. I wasn't. I thought of that 6-8 months before it happened. That if Bin Laden couldn't get an airplane into those towers, he would fly a plane into them. And I wrote Bush and told him. And you don't want to hear what I told Bush after it happened. But sometimes things are the first. But this isn't the first. Not with England. Not with offing people for their own personal whatever. And that's the only facts that add up. That's the only thing that settles with me, as far as what happened. Because the cleaning ladies at 3 in the morning and Bad Wolves getting that call at 3 in the morning, because they talked to her just 3 hours before. They even said it. They were talking to her about the session the next morning, 11 o'clock at night, midnight. And then they got off the phone and they were supposed to meet up the next morning and record a version of Zombie. Instead, they get a phone call 3 in the morning saying she's dead. Get the... So the other point I feel like I should make right now too is who she was. That this girl just was love. Even if you're a person that's not big on love, which everybody is. Some people try to say it's not. But everybody wants to find the person, fall completely in love. Even everybody in the super heavy scene. Gene Simmons of Kiss said that. They're like, well, dude, we thought you guys were just badasses and that's all you cared about, He's like, well, everybody wants to fall in love. Everybody wants to find that one and, be totally in love. And that was Dolores to no end. When she was married, she was like 100 zillion% married. There was nothing coming up, no chance with nobody else, unless there's stuff I don't know about. But from what I have seen, no. And that's what her songs were, and that's what she just said in endless interviews. She's like the one person that stood with that actually, and that's probably why a bunch of Hollywood turns from God, because they're like, I can't, I don't have the strength to do this. I could give in to Lucifer's ways. That's easy. But standing for God's ways, but no, she stood strong all the way. I think that's about all I'm going to say for now. This will probably be in 2 parts because my freaking camera here keeps cutting things off at 30 minutes. In fact, let me see here. Yeah, we're at 45. So there's going to be 2 parts to this. My deal is just don't let go. That's what I feel. That's my gut feeling. Don't let go. It's not like she's gone, it's over. No. I'm calling God on his everything. He's got this book, thousands of years. Well, it's not even one book. It's a bunch of books put into one, the Bible. He's had endless prophets, that he had to do all sorts of stuff with. Endless accounts of recordings that have lasted the thousands of years. Even Lucifer's best attempts to destroy them all. Him having his people do that. And it's at that pinnacle point, that crossroads. It's like, if this is really what's up, then you will bring her back. And actually, to be honest, you'll bring her back in her prime. And until Judgment Day, we'll live and live in the glory of that. Bask in it. Otherwise, this is like you talking about how great you are. And you starve everyone to death. But just before they die, you give them the most rotten piece of crap bit of food you can find and tell them eat. And they eat so they don't starve to death. So they don't actually die of starvation. And then you go, see how great I am? See how incredible I am? Look, I gave you a piece of meat. I mean, yeah, it was 20 days old and had maggots all over it and whatever. But at least you got something. You didn't die of starvation, right? See how great I am? And this is the guy who could, part oceans and raise the dead and do whatever. It's on him. I'm doing exactly what he says. He says, put it on him. Give him all of our problems, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? This one is. I'll take it for all the others, and I have taken it. All the abuse I've gone through, all the crap you've pulled in my life. I've had to move from state to state to state just to live. Anyways, And if you want right now, if you want to do a crucifixion or a Gethsemane thing, where's the garden? You know? Because, I mean, you did it for the whole planet, which means, okay, since I'm not perfect, that means if I do it, it should be good for one person, if not a few, you know, or whatever number. So I'm in. You know, if that's what you want, because that's just all I'm thinking now is, what do you want? I mean, what are you doing? And that's pretty much it. You know, unless the only thing that settles with me is if he brings her back. I mean, he could do it any way he wants. He could do it in any type of historical fashion. Ordain somebody a prophet now, or somebody, if there is one. You know, so because supposedly the Mormon Church has a prophet. Just tell that guy, go out there, straight out there, and bring her right back. However he does it. You know, I'm not gonna like sit and dictate. Oh, you got to do it like this or that. Not even. I'm just saying, the only way to set, you know, that you are who you say you are in your heart and soul, who you are, then you'll bring this girl back. I mean, and I'll say this too for the record. You know, even if I don't see her or meet her in this life, you know, I mean, for the whole world, for this whole freaking planet, because that's what I feel like. I feel like as long as she was on this planet, a lot of things were better. I mean, mass people, lies, just the thought of her and who she was and that she was on this planet, that she was here, just made eons of people survive. I'm actually curious, you know, if there's been any suicides over this. You know, girls that are going through, you know, the worst horrors, being abused, whatever, and they just hold on to her. Like a documentary I saw once where it was a documentary about kids that had been kidnapped and sold into prostitution. And they were showing this one boy who had a doll. He had like a little doll that he held on to. And he had AIDS, and he was like 14 or something like that, 15 years old. And here's these reporters, and they can't go do anything because his pimps are armed and they'll kill whoever. But the only thing this kid had in his life was this doll. This little doll that he held on to was the only thing that was priceless or precious or whatever that he could, I guess, stay above ground in his heart and soul over, because he was a piece of property that was owned by a freaking pimp that was pimping him out to other guys. I don't know, it's just the most horrific thing. But when you're put in the ultimate worst situations, you turn into separate people. You create alternative realities where nothing's like that, you know, and you go and you start living inside your own head. I mean, I've seen this because I actually worked at a prison for a while, and they have psych classes there you could take and yada, 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 because there's guys that lose their minds in prison. I mean, a long story, but not going to go all the way there. And I can just imagine how many girls there were out there, or people, guys included, all ages, that she was their escape because she was love. You know, as long as they were hearing her song, they were feeling that. And the second she dies, it's like, well, if she's dead, what am I doing alive? You know, I can picture this because, again, for me living in the abused house that I'm from, my home was the street. You know, my home was where I had to go when I had to eat, when I couldn't get food somewhere else, or I had to sleep, or not be in the freezing ass cold. That's where I went. And there again, I went to my bedroom and tried to stay there away from that pig. But my life wasn't as bad as, you know, other people's that I know on the street, where they are just like, I'd rather be freezing in the cold out underneath a staircase of some building than be home, you know. And they eventually get picked up and, you know, put in shelters or whatever. But whatever, you get it. I wonder how many people have actually taken their own lives, just said, that's it. If Dolores is gone, I'm out. So like I said, if Judgment Day is tomorrow, the second coming is tomorrow, then okay, because that's what it is. He's just, hurry up and took her and put her affairs in order. You know, she's one of them. Just hurry up and take these people and get us situated, because the bottom line is like right away, you know. Then okay, but if not, you know, if you're going to take a while, then you just got to send her back. That's, you know, I thought of all the answers. What makes this okay, or what settles this, you know, makes it to where everything you say in the Bible is real and true. That's it. And I guess I'd have to say perfect example, or can't even think of it, perfect time or person and everything to do it with. Because if you wanted the world to know that all this is real, it's not just words on a page that were written forever ago, and it's like here, I'll do this one time and that's it. Screw the rest of you. Screw you all for the rest of forever. I'm just doing it here so you can see I do it, and I demand you believe it, and just that's it. If you want to, basically, all those who their faith is weak, this would settle it. This would shake the foundation of the freaking planet. And if you want everybody in heaven, you'll do it. Because there's a lot of people that just don't believe anymore. Or their faith is so weak, they're not even there. And it's because of everything that's happened in this world, everything that's going on. And they got no proof that anything you say in your book, in the books, in the scriptures, is real. So it's time, this major stuff happened way back when, the parting of the ocean, raising the dead, healing the blind, so on and so on. But it almost reads like, well, that was for them. That was for them back then. That's not for us. For us, he don't care. He don't give a crap. He don't care if we hit the dirt and die. I mean, look what he did. Dolores O'Riordan, this superstar that loved him to death and told everybody, and that's what her songs were about. And she lived and walked and walked. Look what happened to her. Look what, Okay, I'm going to get off this because I'll spend 3 hours freaking doing this. And I'm getting close to being 3 chapters instead of 2. If I come across anything else that I feel needs to be said, I'll say it. I just, I have to head this off. Because there's people starting to report the crap now about her ODing. They're trying to leak it out, make it look like it's a leak. That, this leaked from, wherever. It's like, who? Who leaked it? Well, just some media. Yeah, which one? Satanic one? How about you investigate who that is? Because even if it comes from CNN or MSNBC, well, that's Satan's people. They're Satan all the way. And that's what they're guaranteed going to do. They're going to wait till April and say, we looked into it so much. We double, quadruple looked into it. And yeah, she did herself. Yeah, this stupid Christian. They're going to trash her. They're going to guaranteed. They know they can't do it right now because everyone's too freaking freaked about it. And they'll get some backlash. I mean, they had a meeting guaranteed. They're like, we better wait on this. The world's going off about this girl. So they're going to wait until April to tell the results, which get the freaking hell out of you. To tell to April to know what happened. They knew what happened that freaking night, and at the very, very most, the next 2 or 3 days. And also, I want to say real quick, some people that think, well, dude, it's too late. There's no way. God can't do it. Believe me. A zillion freaking meteors could hit Ireland right now and totally obliterate the country to where you can't even see it. Ocean covers it. And supposedly with all of his powers and how great he is and everything, he could just think about it and everything gets put right back together, right? I mean, so anything man has done, there's nothing man could do to alter what God wants to do. I mean, every man on this planet could try to go against something against God, and he can just, wave his hand and wipe them all out. So it's nowhere near too late. There's nothing man could do that could slow God down or stop him, at least according to the scriptures, right? So that's what we have to go with. He could totally just bring her back like that, in any way he wants to as well. So this is on him. If there was any way I could have stopped it or I would have known about it, that's something I'm freaking out about because he had her come to mind over and over. And I'm like, is that what you were telling me? Well, dude, you knew I couldn't. What could I do? I didn't have any money. I can't, go search the world where she was or where she is. And she's famous. This is what I thought. She's famous and rich and, she's it. Everybody, wants her and wants to, how am I going to freaking get through and write her a letter? She gets guaranteed massive. This is what I thought. This is how far out of the loop I was. But I did think, I'm going to write her. I'm going to try to, but I forgot to do it. Every time I thought of doing it, I was at work or I was way across town shopping or something, so I couldn't do it. But when I got home, I totally forgot. And like I said, when I heard she died, I was like, wait a minute, he's doing something here. And then as time has gone on, it's been setting in more and more. And I'm like, no way. No way do you freaking do this. That's, anyways, what I have to say on it. Okay, if I have more, I'll say again later in another couple vids or video.